Hello everyone, welcome to this section on understanding data for class 12. In this series of videos, we will review certain basic concepts around understanding data, and then we will introduce database management system and a variant of it, that is a relational database management system. And from there on, we'll go and talk about how you can query them using SQL query language through MySQL. So let us talk a bit more about our relational, about our, what data means. And let us swiftly introduce the concept of database through files. In this slide, we'll explore essential concepts related to data collection, storage, and processing, and how statistical techniques are used to interpret data effectively. Data refers to raw facts and figures that need processing to be useful. It is important to recognize different types of data, such as structured data, which is organized in formats like tables, and unstructured data, which could be unorganized, like images or text. Data collection is the first step in any data related analysis. This involves gathering data from various sources using methods like surveys, experiments, or observations. The goal is to obtain accurate, relevant, and sufficient data for analysis. Once done, data storage, once data is collected, it needs to be stored efficiently for later use. Common formats for storing data include a structured format such as CSV files. CSV files stores data in rows and columns, making it easy to organize and retrieve information. The next step, that is data processing, it involves transforming raw data into meaningful insight. This step includes cleaning the data, organizing it, and performing calculations or analysis to extract useful patterns and trend. For example, if your data is in a date format, so you need to parse several variations of it and you need to standardize. In a similar way, for certain numeric column, you might have to find out some metric out of it, right? So we'll talk about set of statistical techniques that are used for data processing. In order to summarize and interpret data, we use basic statistical techniques. So mean, you might be aware of what is mean? It's the average value, right? Which gives a sense of uh, one of the central tendency metric. And how you get it? You sum and then divide by total number of data sets. If there are n data points, you sum each of those and divide by n. Median, on the other hand, is especially useful when data has outliers, and it is the middle value. If you have odd number of data point, it will be the middle value. If you have even number of data point, it will be average of two middle values. Mode gives you idea about the most frequent value in the data set, right? So the one with the highest count. Range is another important metric that gives you difference between the highest and lowest value, indicating the spread of data. Another important metric is standard deviation. It also gives you a spread of data, and we have several videos with very detailed coverage on basic statistical techniques around mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation, variance in our data science playlist. So you can just search our data science playlist in the same channel, and you can go through the videos around EDH, that is exploratory data analysis. Now you might be aware how you get variance. You compute the mean, take the difference from each data point and square them, then sum them up, divide it by total number of data points. So that's your variance, and a square root of that will be your standard deviation. To summarize, there are two types of data: a structured data, which is organized and easily searchable like tables; unstructured data, which is more chaotic like images and text. We also discussed the process of data collection and storage using formats like CSV and processing, which turns raw data into useful information. Lastly, statistical methods like mean, median, mode, and range, as well as standard deviation and variance, are crucial tools to interpret and analyze the data effectively. This understanding will form the foundation for more advanced topics, uh, and it will help you, around around data science and analysis. Now, with this introduction of basics of data, let us and files actually, right? Let us move to basic introduction to our database management system or database concepts, right? So in this slide, we'll dive into database concepts which are fundamental to understanding how data is stored, managed, and accessed efficiently. File system. What is a file system? A file system is a container used for storing data. However, file system comes with some challenges. They often suffer from issues like data redundancy, multiple copies of the same data that could lead to wastage of storage. There could be data inconsistency, different versions of the same data that may cause errors and confusion, as well as data isolation. So difficulties in accessing data stored in different formats or location. These limitations makes file system less efficient for handling large scale complex data. To overcome the limitation of file system, we use a database management system. A DBMS is a software that helps create and manage databases. Unlike file systems such as CSV, a DBMS allows us to store data in a more organized way, making it easier to retrieve, update, and maintain. A database is a collection of related tables, and a DBMS ensures that the data is consistent, accessible, and well structured. Relational data model. One of the most common models used in database management system is the relational data model. This model organizes data into tables, also known as relations, where each table has rows, that's called tuples as well, and columns, which are called attributes. The relational model defines the relationship between different tables, ensuring that data is stored logically and connected efficiently. Just to summarize, we talked about file system, introduced the idea of DBMS, and then we talked about the schema of database using uh, rows and columns. Now, let us look at some of the uh, keys in a relational database and its uh, properties. In the relational model, keys plays a crucial role in maintaining the integrity and relationship between data. So there could be Three key. Candidate key is a set of attributes that could uniquely identify a record in a table. Primary key is a candidate key chosen to uniquely identify each record in a table. It can't have duplicate values. And foreign key is an attribute in one table that links to the primary key in another table, establishing a relationship between the two tables. So we talked about attribute, we talked about tuples, we briefly covered cardinality, which is the number of tuples in a relationship, and degree, which is the number of attributes in a relationship, right? And then we talked about permissible set of values for a column using domain. And then we have talked about major keys. Composite key is a combination of two or more attributes that uniquely identify a tuple when taken together. To summarize, a file system is a basic way of storing data, but it has limitations like redundancy and inconsistency. A database management system is more powerful and efficient for managing data, providing features like schema design and constraints. A database schema is the blueprint for the database, defining the structure and relationship between tables. Lastly, constraints are the rules that govern the type of data allowed in each field, ensuring data integrity and consistency. This foundational knowledge will help you understand how databases are designed and managed efficiently in real world application. We will take um, a simple database design for your attendance management. So what all you'll be having? You'll be having, say, data about a student, data about their guardians, students' guardians, data about their attendance. So each of these could be represented in a different table, and in that table, the set of keys that uniquely identifies all the rows, right, will be considered as a primary key, and then to connect one of the table with another one will identify a foreign key, right? So all these three could actually interact with a database catalog, and on top of these we can actually develop layer for DBMS software process query, which access database and its definition and helps answer variety of queries raised through, say, teacher, office staffs, right? Well, let us delve into it and reinforce our learning of some of the key terms that we introduce. So I've just taken some sample example, right? So let us look at a student table. What all it is having? Roll number, a student name, a student date of birth, and say a UID, which actually uniquely identifies these students, right? So GUID is the one that can work as a primary key because this is unique across the table. And let us look at the guardian table. So in the guardian table, again, we are having a GUID that uniquely identifies the guardian, then the name of the guardian, the phone of the guardian, say address of it. So we have just assumed that we are actually going to look at these, four. If you now see, right, GUID in a student table for Atharo Ahuja, right, connects to Amit Ahuja, right? Then D Bhutia, right, to Baichung Bhutia, right? Talim Sa to Himanshu Sa, right, using the same identifier. And then let's have a student attendance, right? So on a given day and for that particular roll number, we have attendance status present or absent, right? So if you look at on the right hand side, your guardian GUID, right, clocks through foreign key GUID of a student, and that connects through roll number in our attendance system. So that's how you connect and organize data across multiple tables. So we talked about database schema, that is the structure of the database, including table names, field columns, and relationship. We talked about data integrity, where roll number in the student and attendance tables links a student to their attendance record. Many a time when actually you move from file system to DBMS, we saw several disadvantages of file system, but while making this transition, there are cost factor involved as well, right? So the hardware and software, purchasing a sophisticated hardware and software could cost. You need training, you need regular maintenance, right? So all of these will be having cost. Just to re-emphasize, tables here are referred as relations in a relational data model. Each table contains rows representing data records and columns representing attributes. The student, guardian, and attendance tables are related via key fields, GUID, and roll number. Right? Relational integrity, data in different tables are linked using common attribute. Right? So that say roll number links with a student attendance tables, and we saw that it actually offers you centralized data repository for simultaneous access by multiple user, unlike file system where we have many of these restrictions. Okay, so we'll use this table to develop basic SQL query in our next video. Thanks for watching this. Hope to see you in our next video.